Good morning. Welcome back to the Red Mic. Happy Hump Day. A little bit late this morning because I had to write a new Red Mic. Today's Red Mic message was going to be a continuation of yesterday with a little bit of Justin Meacham thrown in. I'm still going to do that, but I'm going to do it tomorrow because last night I saw a thing on Facebook that basically Carson Beck walked off the field after the championship game on Monday. Didn't shake anybody's hand, just walked off. And then when asked about it later, he said, I don't owe anybody a handshake. Serenity now. Give me patience, give me strength, but strap up, folks. I'm about to go off on a mild rant because if I am an NFL talent scout looking at the draft, Carson Beck just got a big line drawn through him. No sportsmanship, no character. I would not draft the guy at all. And if he tried to walk on, I'd tell him, you're wasting your time. You don't have a place here. And I don't care if he ends up being all pro. I don't care. I don't want that kind of poison in my locker room. I don't want that kind of sportsmanship in my locker room. Sportsmanship matters. Honoring the game matters. This was a hard fought championship game where his team got the better of the referee calls. There weren't a whole lot of dirty hits on old Carson Beck. You know, that interception, yeah, his receiver took the blame, but you don't throw that ball. You just don't. And he walked off the field like a petulant child. I don't owe anybody a handshake. That quote is the whole problem. You know he was taught better than that. At least I hope he was. We used to do, handshakes and good game after every contest. Win, lose, or draw. Walking away like he did, that's not passion. That's not competitiveness. It's not some deep statement about self respect. It's being a bad sport, period. And if we're being honest, if we stop soft pedaling it, it's also a character issue. You don't shake hands because you're happy. You shake hands because the game was fair. Both teams lined up. Both teams took hits. Both teams trusted the same whistle, the same clock, and the same rules. And yeah, Signetti complained at halftime, before halftime, or right at halftime, to the on-field reporter, which I still don't understand how that's the thing. He complained to the on-field reporter about the crappy calls that weren't being called. Got to wet the whistle to keep going this morning. Cedar's trying to kill me. The handshake's not about feelings. It's that final acknowledgement that you honored the same code that they did. Been reading a lot of comments online. People are saying the same thing. Some people are saying, like I just did a minute ago, this is a lesson that athletes learn early, usually the hard way, and that skipping it on the biggest stage that he's been on to this point in his career looks like regression, not toughness. Other people said that maturity shows up exactly when you're frustrated, embarrassed, or angry, but you still do the same thing anyway. He didn't. Other people said the quiet part completely out loud. How you lose tells people more about you than about how you win, because winning hides flaws, losing exposes them. Amen. Amen. This one comment, no one is claiming a handshake is legally required. They're saying it is the classy move, and class still matters. Carson Beck did not get treated dirty during that game. There weren't any cheap shots. There was no score running up, no nonsense. It was a clean loss. Now, I've told this story before. I refuse to shake hands with coaches, and not the players. I refused to shake hands with coaches one time when I was a coach. And it was after a game where the other team called a late timeout just so they could run up the score. That was not just emotion, that was principle. They broke the unwritten contract. And then we beat them in the playoffs. That's not what happened here. This was a missed opportunity for Carson Beck to show leadership when leadership was uncomfortable. Leadership is leadership is like getting into a football stance. I used to tell my kids this all the time. Feet shoulder width apart, butt down, back straight. Now, once you get used to it, it's pretty easy. But in the first 2, 3 weeks of the season, of the practice season, it hurts if you're not used to it. And the kids would say, Coach, this is uncomfortable. And I'd say, yeah, you're doing it right. It's the same thing with leadership. If it's comfortable all the time, you're probably not doing it right. I hope this affects his draft standing. It would if I was a scout. It's my opinion that NFL teams don't just draft arms and legs; they draft risk profiles. They ask, okay, how does this guy handle failure? What does he do when the cameras are on and things go sideways? What does he do when the cameras aren't on? Is this somebody that teammates will follow after a bad Sunday? With Carson Beck saying, I don't owe anybody a handshake after a fair loss, if I'm a scout, I don't hear toughness. I hear petulance. I write down words like immature, self-focused, emotional liability. It may not end his career, but I think it's going to move him down the board. And at that level, even a little bit farther down on the board matters. It's going to matter in terms of his salary. It's going to matter in terms of his incentives. It's going to matter in terms of whether he makes the team at all. This was not about being owed respect. It was about showing it to his opponents, to the game. If the game is fair, you owe the handshake. Emotions explain your behavior, but they don't excuse it. How you lose is the clearest window into who you are. Talent can open doors. Character decides how long they stay open. And don't forget, standards only matter when you keep them after disappointment. Carson Beck, you've got some growing up to do. And that's today's Red Mike message. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you found it helpful. If you disagree with me, fine. Tell me in the comments or send me an email. redmikemessages@gmail.com. I'd love to discuss this more. So if you think I'm wrong, oh, Fortner, get over yourself. Come on, bring it. I'm ready to discuss. I love you guys. I'll see you again tomorrow. And until next time, as always, life is short. Drink the bourbon.